So, there's a question in my comments. What, you didn't think your grandmother's place was a safe area? A safe space? No, I didn't. I loved my grandmother, and I do believe my grandmother loved me, but she was sometimes very mean. She would often tell me that I was fat. If she came into the room and I was eating, she would just stare at me and say, I can see your hips spreading with every bite. By the time you finish that sandwich, you're not going to be able to fit through the doorway. She always made me feel so ugly, while putting me in these beautiful outfits and having my hair fixed and doing everything to make me pretty. She would always verbally be telling me that I wasn't good enough. I wasn't pretty enough. I was too fat. I didn't wear makeup. I didn't do what the other girls did. Her other girls did. They all wore the high heels. They all wore the makeup. They all played the game. And I didn't. I wasn't the one that she was going to be able to stand up in her doll case and showcase off. And also, she kept taking me back. She knew what my parents were doing, and she kept taking me back. She kept dropping me off with them, knowing what was going to happen. And that always bothered me. And I always wondered, if she really loved me, why does she keep taking me back there? She took me in, I think, because she wanted a baby after her children were grown. I don't think she took me in just because she fell in love with me the day I was born. She needed to have a baby in her life. She needed people to see her on the street with a baby and think she was a mother and not a grandmother. Because it made her younger. My grandmother was desperately afraid of being seen as her age. She was afraid of aging physically, being seen. Even when she broke her hip, she didn't want to go to the emergency room without putting on makeup. And if she had gone to the police or social services or anything like that to help me, it would have taken me away from her. And she wouldn't have that doll-like baby to carry around and have people on the street fawn over anymore. It was more important to my grandmother that she have the illusion than to actually protect me. The image, the aesthetic, was always more important. So I never really felt safe and comfortable. And I know a lot of people aren't going to understand this. This makes a lot of people angry. But she saved you. She took you to Disney. She bought you pretty dresses. And then she took me back and left me with people she knew would abuse me mentally, physically, and sexually. And tried to make up for it with Disneyland and dresses, but you can't. It doesn't just go away. And I have very conflicted feelings about my grandmother because of it. So no, she was not a safe place for me.